So, you're watching a video about the little roller dealie inside of a toilet paper dispenser. What are you doing with your life? And the next thing is, what the hell am I doing? So here we go. Now, I know this is going to sound like a stupid rant because it absolutely is, but let's just take a look here for a second. You would think, very obviously, that this would be 3/4 to a 1-inch diameter roller surface or smaller that you put your toilet paper on, and this is one of the spring-loaded versions, and it would be possibly the most boring, dumb subject on the earth, and obviously it is, otherwise you must be massively bored to click this video. But there is something to this video, and it's not really just a rant, but it will be. How many different size standards are there for this, and what are they based on? Now, I know this is irrelevant because if you're like me, you just leave a roll on top of the tank and don't care. I know that sounds unsanitary to about 10% of you, but those people are, I don't care what you think, I do what I do. Trust me, spending almost 10 years essentially camping continually because I was homeless, I learned to carry napkins in a bag, a Ziploc, waterproof, because this stuff is just literally more valuable than you think of. Actually, a lot of you found that out during the pandemic, but we won't go there. The standards for these things are based on the drill sizes that are used to make a hole in a chunk of wood or a piece of plastic when they're demoing it out to make yet another unnecessary, you don't need another version of it, there's no salesmanship involved, item, another towel bar holder, or in this case, it was called a bathroom tissue dispenser bar. Anyway, this is the spring-loaded version. It's excruciatingly simple. I'm not going to go into the mechanics of it. And yeah, I was looking this up because I was always, totally wondering this. No, I wasn't. I was just noticing, I've never used these for a while. Do they have a standard? And the answer is plenty of them. So here's the 3/4 inch side, and this is the 1-inch side. Now, for those of you who don't know, in this case, when people measure things, they could be talking about 3/4 inch-ish and then not giving an exact number, or they could be literally meaning 0.75 inches. So if somebody puts in 4.5 inches and 6.5 inches here, it is presumed that since there's no, quote, American standard for toilet paper rollers, that's literally 1 inch on the outer diameter for the larger one, and this is 3/4 inch on this one, which means the thickness, if you wanted to call it for this outside casing, is, I guess, 1/8 of an inch, because it's 1/8 plus 1/8, so that's 1/4 inch bigger than 3/4. And then they have these two nubs for two completely different standards for how these can be positioned, and this would also make it easier to fit in. And this shows 13/16 for its outer diameter for this size. And then down here it says it goes in 3/8 inch deep. What? Okay. What's really going on here is someone took the measurement probably for this nub on the end and flipped it the other way by mistake, but I can't tell. So what is this video about? Well, let me give you some more ambiguity. Do you really measure the 4.5 inch compressed maximum from the end to the end for the clearing space? That would be yes. Do you measure its maximum extension for useful length at 6.25? No. You base it on when it hits either this nub or this nub to fit into one standard or another. If it has effectively two completely different lengths as a working length, you wouldn't do that. It's ambiguous. Now, this is a video about ambiguity in sales and is this level of detail important? Now, the fact that I looked up, yes, I actually did this. If I'm going to make a video about it, better look it up. Looking at Amazon reviews, people complaining that this was one of 5 different size standards and theirs didn't work. Now, let that sink in for a second. For a toilet paper roller, a thing that honestly, really you wouldn't think has a standard to it, there is one. Just a little over 1/2 inch for the hole, and apparently a little under 1/2 inch for another hole, or is that the depth? Again, they've marked it as depth, but I'm not sure that's what they meant. So let's look up some others. Let's see if we can find some consistency. fuck no. So anyway, here we go with the large end on one version. I didn't dot. This is essentially the same picture. They just added, 6.5 inches to 4 inches and 4.5 inches. It doesn't matter. Anyway, the diameter on the small end upper right here, 1.25 inches approximately for the small end, and for the large end, 1.34 inches. But this one has it at 0.9 inches for one dimension and 0.83 for another. And the nub ends, well, here's 0.3 inch, and this one on the outside is almost 0.6, double the diameter. That actually makes some sense. But then here we get 0.813 inch for one of them, and the other one is almost exactly double, but actually it's a little less than double the diameter. And these were sold by the same company, and on Amazon it was sold as the same thing. So which one's right? Let's move on. Now we get to, oh my God, it's a matte white thing. Let's put it on a white background. So I had to change the contrast so we could read something. And by the way, they did it too because you'd have to tilt your screen or something. This is practically invisible because, of course, when you're imaging a white item, let's put it on a white background so it can just go into stealth mode. Make all the jokes you want. I think that's funny. Anyway, here's a 8/9 inch for the large end. And the small end was what? The nub is a 1/4 inch here, and over here it's 5/8 for the larger one. It's also tapered, so it'll go into any size you want to because, let's make it fit everything. Or they could just make it cone-shaped, I guess. And here it says it's 3/4, and the other end it says 1 inch for the fat end. By the way, I did flip this by accident. No, that was them on the same page. And it's 6 inches to 4 inches. But again, what standard are we doing? I had to guess. And over here it's 3/8, and here's 7/16. So to review, what is this rant about? Most of the listings don't tell you the size and just say guess. I mean, not kidding. Some of the sellers even say, I don't care that you have two different standards. We're only selling small, middle, medium, and large. That doesn't tell anybody anything. Next thing is, when they put the dimensions in, and they're unnecessarily, precise, but they're the wrong dimension. This is a 3/8 nub, and then the other one is a 9/16. Or not. I don't know, because I don't know which one it is. The rant was mostly about how something as mundane as this could actually cause problems. Yes, I looked up a completely unrelated subject, and then I found someone complaining that their company had managed to somehow lose $100,000 by buying the wrong size toilet paper dispenser spring-loaded roller. It's called a roller because it rolls. That literally caused them that much money lost because the company that made the equipment it goes into changed the standard without telling them, and they had a bunch of backorder stuff that suddenly didn't fit and made everybody in Manhattan angry. I can't even. And the thing is, half of me wants to create a standard, but the other half of me wants to make a fourth, fifth, and sixth standard just to make it even more bizarre and chaotic, just because, well, basically, I'm Satan himself. But anyway, and if anybody's curious, no, I wasn't looking this up to make a really tiny, I guess, 20-gauge slam fire gun out of, something inconspicuous and tiny, because that would be stupid. That's totally not what I was going to do. This is the firing mechanism. But anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. No, I wasn't really going to do that. But I just thought this is the dumbest. I mean, seriously, $100,000 lost to a company because they had toilet paper rollers they had to fill in high-rise buildings in Manhattan, and they had to eat $100,000 over something as dumb as not knowing whether it's the $1.50 quarterstaff version of it. That actually, it's actually hilarious, and it's kind of sad. So, now, here's the thing. How many of you paused the video to go check to see if you had a spring-loaded roller and what the dimensions are? Bet some of you did. Thanks for watching.